Hey Vixen, are you starting without me? I said you could be co-host, not host. Anyway, don't you think you should wear some knickers before going worldwide? Come on, out of there. Hello, welcome to my craft room. This is Simply in Stitches. My name's Tina and this is my new co-host, Vixen. She may look a bit stroppy, but she's very happy really. She's very happy and she wanted to say thank you to all of her new fans who gave us such a good reception when I made the video on Wednesday of sewing her up and putting her all together. Everyone was so nice and kind about her and seemed to enjoy the video, so thank you so much. We both really appreciate that. So, as I said, she shouldn't be coming on here naked, she needs clothes. Well, I have cast on some clothes for her, but I haven't got very far. So she is from the Knitted Animal Friends book and it's by Louise Crowther, and that's what she's supposed to look like. If you want to know about the eyes, watch the video from Wednesday. So I'm desperate to make some clothes for her, so I immediately cast on the little knickers. So this is what we're aiming for, some little French knickers. But so far I have only got, and I've stopped well, not actually stopped mid-row because you go backwards and forwards. So this is how far I've got so far. So you knit them straight, but then I think I join it up. As per usual, I haven't looked at the instructions, I just go line by line and just follow it. So I think that is the top because there's a button band there. So yes, hopefully she will like her little pink knickers. I thought pink might soften her up a bit. Her mean look. We've got to go as girly as possible to soften the look, I think. So yes, those are her knickers. I'm just using the Stylecraft Special DK, and this is shade, it's called Blush, 1833 is what I'm using. So hopefully they're going to fit her. But looking at the other clothes that I want to make, well, I want to make them all really. You can't see it very well because she's got a cardigan over the top. I would like to make a cardigan obviously as well. Got the picture on the other side and the shoes. Got to have the cute little shoes to match. So there's a bit more of the dress pattern. So yes, I would like to make all the outfits, but it's just time because I've got a lot on the needles at the moment, which is what we're going to talk about. Lots of whips, too many in fact. So Vixen is a finish, but that's the only finish I've got. So well done. I'm pleased you're here. Keep that covered. So I have a half finished, a faux, no, half finished, a hoe. And these are the Woodland Walk socks, and I've finished one completely. You can see that there is that leaf design down it. These are knit in Drops Nord, and you're really pleased how they've turned out. But it is for Denise at Dear Designs, her knit along, and so it's monthly, so these are supposed to be finished by the 1st of February, so I need to get on with them because I haven't got that far with the second one. So this is how far I am, and I've just doing the heel flap at the moment. So I've got, this one's the left one, so that one's the right one, so it's got them down that side and then the left, so they're both on the outside of the foot. It's coming down this side, and then the heel flap, so I'm just working on 32 stitches at the back for the heel flap at the moment, and then I should carry on in pattern. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do because this month is snowdrop month, so I need to incorporate some snowdrops in there, so I might do a little bit of embroidery. So you will find out. They've got to be finished. These are going to be my priority. I'm only going to knit on these till they're finished now, to get finished by the end of September, the end of January. So those are the ones I'm finishing, so they will be finished, and hopefully a little bit of embroidery so I can enter this month. I don't want to be disqualified, that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Okay, so next, let's just grab a bag, shall we? I think I'll do it that way. I'll just grab a bag, see what's in it, 'cause I can't remember because I've got too many. Aha! This is a new cast on. Oh, actually, I did cast it on last week, didn't I? You had a very small start last week. Sorry, these needles are going to clang. But this is the Chunky Dahlia, and it is knit on... Get one out for you. It's good when you're organised, isn't it? So I'm knitting this with Stylecraft Life Chunky by Stylecraft, and it is the Mixtures Cranberry colourway. It's the Mixtures Cranberry colourway, and it is just a chunky yarn, so it's recommended for a 6mm needle. I would like to give out a thank you to Jeanette at Crafty Clegg Creation. If you've not had the pleasure of her YouTube channel, then please check her out. I shall put a link down below. But I put this on Instagram, what I was doing, and she asked me about this yarn and what needle size I was using, and so I answered the question. And then because I was looking at this to see, because obviously I hadn't done a test swatch, obviously, just went into it blind. And yeah, when I checked, the needle gauge was correct if it was on the 6mm, but this is supposed to be knit on a 7mm, and I'd just done the neckband, and I was just changing needles to go to a 7 to do the main part when I answered that question. And I thought, hold on a minute, it's supposed to be on a 6, and I know that my tension is generally what is recommended for the usual this sort of commercial yarn. So I thought, oh, I better stick with a 6 then. I'm thanking you, but if it turns out to be the wrong size, I shall blame you as well, Jeanette. But it should be fine. As I said, it's spot on. This one is spot on the gauge for that sweater on 6mm needles. So in theory, it should be right, but we shall see. So this is what I'm doing it on. This is how far I've got. I've got basic stitch markers all the way around for each repeat, because I like to use just the little silver rings now, but they all look the same size, but some of them were fitting, some of them weren't. So I thought, right, I'm just going to use this, so I'll be able to see those, and they don't clang and they don't annoy me. I don't like too many dangling ones on my work. I find they annoy me. And yeah, so I went simple, and this is how far the repeat is at the moment. So I'm about halfway down, I think. What I've done is, it's a chart and I prefer to have it written down. So as usual, I've just written out the chart so I can follow it easily. And yeah, it's an easy pattern to do. I've been doing it while watching TV. So yeah, really pleased with that. It's knitting up quick. I'm loving the colour of it. It's, like it said in the title, it's mixture, so it is like a purpley berry colour, but there's some really sort of quite pinky bits in there as well. I don't know how much you can see. On the screen, to me, it's looking lighter than it is in real life. It's very much a berry colour rather than a pink. So yeah, loving that. But I need to put that by for the moment. That's that one. Excuse me, Vixen. Can I just talk about this one? Not much progress on the Aurora cabin shawl. I actually put a marker in here so I'd know how far I got, but I got distracted with other things. That's the little bit I've done since you last saw it. But I wanted to mention, because I have been asked about the colours I'm using, if I'd say what colours were, and they all had just numbers, but I managed to find my receipt so I can tell you what they are. So I'll go through them very quickly. So they are, let's find one with the ball band. So I'm using the Drops Alpaca, which is 100% alpaca. So this is the camel beige colour. And then I have coral. And then maroon mix. Off-white. And lemon pie, which is more green. So those are my colours, but I would like to say that I have messed up quite a few times late at night when I've started a new colour and I've thought I've known which is my A, B, C, D, but then I've mixed them up. So yeah, see if I can remember now. So I should have A, B, C, D and E, but I have put them in the wrong order, so that's why this section up here is different to that section there. So it's like the one I'm on at the moment. I shouldn't be on the off-white, I should be on the coral. I think it was the coral, was it the coral? I can't remember. But yeah, I messed up. So I've done quite a few. These rows go on forever. So there's no way I was going to pull it back. So I thought I'd just go with it and just change it as I go. So as long as I've got different colours, if I've missed the colour, I'll go back. So because I should have that coral in there, there's not much coral, I will incorporate that and swap it around. But it's okay, because Stephen said I could do that. On one of his videos, he said you don't have to follow the order, you can do what you want. But obviously you may run out of yarn if you don't follow the instructions. But because it is just the alpaca, I can get more. If I come a cropper, then I can just get more. But I've got plenty of yarn there, so I shall see how I go. But it's just because those lines are so long, rows are so long, that you're obviously using a lot, as you get further down, you're using a lot more yarn just to do one row. But it'll all work out in the end, I'm sure. Oh, Vixen, I'm sorry, you seem to have been thrown out. Would you like to take your pew again? I don't want you to be upset with me. There you go, you're balanced. There you go. Okay, so what else have we got? Let's go for this one. And this one goes with. So this is my scrappy blanket. So I'm using up just my scraps, and I've actually, because my socks, the Nord comes in 50-gram balls, I've got two. I've actually used that in this already. I'll hold it back so you can see. As you can see, it's not very straight. But I'm not worried about this because it is very scrappy, just going to be an outdoor one. So I've got that green at the top there. I'm loving the pops of colour. So yes, I wanted to just carry on with this. That's hence why I put that green in, because I've used all of that magic ball that I did. So I thought, well, it hasn't got very big and I'm not going to have a lot of spares. So I thought, how am I going to tackle this then? Because I want to keep going. So I thought, I know the box that I made up for the anthology throw that I'm going to be making, I can use those. So I decided that I'm not going to use these for the anthology throw now. I am going to carry on putting these into this granny square. So I'm going to divide them up into smaller pieces, or just do one row. I might just do that, just do one row of each and then change colour. And I'm still going to do the anthology throw, but I'm going to divert now off to a different you know how these organised podcasts, they have like whips. Things have started, things have finished. No, we're just going to be all over the place today. Okay, so the anthology throw, I have decided that because next month, February, is violet month for the year of socks. So I have decided I'm going to use this beautiful skein. It's by Rose's Knitting Shed. And it's Visions of Sugar Plums. It's 75% BFL, 25% nylon. And it is a fingering 4-ply. It's beautiful colours. It's looking more pink on screen, but it's more of all different purples really, going from pinky purples to true purples. So I am going to use that one. So I'm thinking the leftovers that I have from this for a sock, because I'm going to pair it with a Drops Nord. Hasn't got the colourway, but it's a very pinky purple, and this one I'm going to use this one as a contrast with it. And so the leftovers I don't know what pattern I'm going to use yet. That will be revealed next week. But the leftovers I have from this, then I shall start the anthology throw. And I shall choose colours to go with this yarn, because I love all these colours. And I thought that'd be really pretty. Perhaps have like a base colour of a very light pink or something going through. Not having so many different colours. I don't know. We shall see. See what I can find. But yeah, I want to base it on this. So I thought if I make my socks first, then I can make full use of the yarn and put it in the anthology throw as well. So that is my socks for next month, to be cast on 1st of February. Want to get those finished quicker this time. Talking about socks, I have done my full rotation of the socks I've got in my box, and I found that the pair of socks that I was avoiding the most is my own pattern. It's just a slip stitch, basically. About every 3 rows carry a slip stitch down, and these are in the West Yorkshire Spinners Silent Night. I believe it was one of their Christmas colourways, and I was avoiding these socks, and the reason that I was avoiding them is because they're tighter because of the slip stitches. I should have put more stitches into the sock to accommodate the slip stitches, but when I did put them on, I found that it's only the putting on that is tight, and when they're actually on my feet, they're fine. So that means that I shouldn't be avoiding these anymore, and they're fine to stay in the rotation. That was part of why I wanted to have less socks I want to have less socks in the seasonal rotation, so I could find out what I wasn't wearing and why I wasn't wearing them. And so if they're not comfortable, I can discard them. Dusters maybe. But if try and fix the problem if there's a reason I'm not wearing them. Or if there isn't a reason and I don't know, like that, they're fine, but for some reason I got it into my head, oh, they're tight, so I just pick out another pair that I'll know and I can enjoy them more again. Also, I wanted to talk about the gingerbread socks by West Yorkshire Spinners that I knit with my Christmas socks this year. And when I was knitting them, I had a comment saying, have you noticed that this gingerbread yarn feels softer than normal West Yorkshire spinners. And I was enjoying knitting with it. I didn't really notice the difference. But now wearing them, I can notice the difference, and they are definitely, and I wondered if anyone else had found that as well. Have you found that this West Yorkshire spinners seems to be softer than normal? I don't know if that is because they've changed. I don't know if it's weather conditions for the sheep. I don't know. But yeah, these socks I'm really enjoying wearing them, and it is partly because they do feel softer. So yeah, really enjoying those ones. So that is sock talk. Because it's the end of the month, I wanted to do a little review of the months, as in looking forward to planning next month, what I want to achieve, what I want to get finished. So I have got more whips than I would like. Ideally, I would like 3 whips on the go at one time. So I'd like a sweater project, like a shawl or the anthology throw, something like that that's big, quite, obviously not simple, but do you know what I mean? That sort of project. And then something smaller like socks or the outfoxed mitts that I wanted to do. So little projects as well. So at the moment, I've got 6 projects on the go. So I just wanted to go through and have a look at what happened this month, so I can be more mindful and know the direction I want to go in. I was a bit cast on crazy this month. This month I've cast on the woodland socks. I've cast on the holiday slipover, which I finished. Well done me. I've also cast on the super chunky cow, so the leftovers from that slipover I cast on for the cow to use that up straight away. I also started the granny square blanket, but that doesn't count as a whip because that's going to be an ongoing, it's just using up scraps, so that I'm not counting that in the whips. And the chunky dahlia that I'll cast on as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things I've cast on this month. The whips that I brought over from last month was the Whitmore jumper, which I have put on the back burner to do the dahlia because that's a chunky and I wanted to be able to wear it this end of the year. So I wanted to do that. So I'm glad I did that. That's why that was pushed to the back. But as soon as I finish the chunky dahlia, I want to go back on and finish that Whitmore so that I can, ideally I'd like to finish the chunky dahlia by the end of next month. We shall see. Vixen I've finished, so she's all done. She just needs some clothes. And the Aurora cabin shawl, I'm still working on that. Really want to get that finished by next month as well. So I'm carrying 2 whips. I started off with 3 whips. I've now got 6 whips, but I've only got 2 of those original whips. So I've only finished 1. That's not very good, is it? I only finished 1 of my whips this month, so I don't want any of January whips being taken over to March. If I'm taking them over to January, I'm taking them over to February, but I'm not going to take them over to March. They must be finished as a priority. So yes, the only new starts I really want to do, she says, now I'm thinking about it, it's quite a few. So number 1 will be Number 1 is going to be my socks, because I'm doing socks every month. So I'm going to have a pair of socks. I'm going to have, hopefully, the anthology throw at the end of the month when I've finished the socks. But, because I want that yarn, but I must finish the Aurora cabin shawl before I start the anthology. That is going to replace that. My cast ons for February are going to be a new pair of socks because I would have finished this pair of socks. When I finish the socks, I can then go on to the Outfox mitts. I need to finish my shawl so I can start the anthology throw. I need to finish my dahlia so I can finish off the Whitmore. I think that's it. Confused? That's why I've got my little book so I can put it down in here. But yes, I want to get down to 3 whips plus my crochet blanket. That is the plan. We shall see what happens next month. Have you got any plans for next month? Let me know in the comments down below. You can also let me know what you're knitting on by using the hashtag Simply in Stitches over on Instagram. I am really trying to be on there more, and I have been looking at the Simply in Stitches hashtag every time I go on, so please put your pictures. So please hashtag me there so I can check out what you've been up to. I've created a new playlist which has got the makeup of Vixen and also the slip over that I made, and I'm calling those the craft room vlogs, so they will come up randomly in the week. So what those videos are going to be is behind the scenes, so it's going to be me talking through a project. It might not always be one project. I do like doing one project and showing different steps because they're not tutorials. It's just literally being in the craft room with me when I'm working my way through something and what my thought patterns are, why I'm doing stuff, so you can shout at your screen and say, Tina, no. So yeah, they're just fun videos. I just want those videos to be fun, entertaining, and I'm learning as I'm doing them because I've been knitting for a long time, but knitting is always a learning process. There's always new things to learn and new things to try. So I love your feedback of what I've been doing, and yeah, if you're a newer knitter and you can see how I work things out, and yeah, I managed to get things that are wearable and I enjoy. So yeah, speaking of which, I am wearing today my flax sweater, which is a 2 colours. I knit this in 2 colours and just did, to blend them, I just did 1 stitch cream, 1 stitch green, 1 stitch cream, 1 stitch green. A lot of people have said, oh, I love your brioche jumper. It's not brioche, it's just stitching different colours. So yes, this is Flax by Tin Can Knits that I am wearing now. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back here next Sunday for a podcast and maybe for a behind the scenes fun video in the week. See you then. Bye for now.